What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a EGR delete on the old Superduty 6.4 liter 2008. So to do that, I got to make room. I got to get the Harley out of the way, make some room, and pull the truck in so we have some good light to work in. Keep you guys posted. Okay, truck's in. The kit we're installing is a Evil Energy EGR kit. Delete kit for the 2008-2010 6.4 liter diesel. It's got quite the instructions color actually, step by step. And then so we'll get started by step one is make sure the front wheels are straight. Yep. Disconnect both batteries, I'll do that. And then drain the coolant using the coolant drain plug located on the bottom of the radiator on the driver's side. Let's get that done. Well, disconnected both batteries. Completely took out the driver's side one because the battery's pretty much held in by the all one piece of the battery holder and your radiator overflow and also your vacuum for your tank for your 4x4. So I took that battery completely out. Disconnected the positive on the passenger side, draining it, the radiator from the driver's side. It shows a different picture in the instructions. Like the radiator on this has a little plastic, you can almost, you just do it with your fingers like a butterfly. Where it shows in the pictures, it's like a nut, like a white nut. So just FYI, they must have changed rads. Maybe it's got a different rad in it from Napa or something like that. Hard to say. But I'll keep you updated as it completes draining. While that's draining, 5-gallon pail, FYI, fits perfectly under the front of a stock Superduty. It's a little tight fit to get in there, but it fits. It doesn't spill much. I mean, it has a few drops, but not bad. So next step is you got to remove this hose that connects to here, and there's a T down here. So you take it off, and then you got to keep it because I think you reuse one or two of them. So let's do that. So next, well, it's still draining, but you have to remove this upper rad. Hose, there's a C-clip on it that goes around it. I've dropped it in here, so we'll get that out once I get all this battery tray out. But it's just a C-clip you slide out with a 90-degree pick, you pop it straight off. Super easy. And then now to remove this, so you got 2 bolts, one here, one there, and then 2 down here. They're all 13 mil. So that's the next step, you remove. So, a couple things to watch for when you remove it. Give you a little bit of coolant in there, all right? You're gonna tip it over and make a little mess, a little messy poo. But don't worry, they make shop brakes for a reason. Also, they don't mention it, but there's a line on the bottom of the bottle. Same thing, C-clip, you slide off, hose pops right off. Super easy. And then there's a vacuum line on the bottom. Tip it right there. Pull that off, that's where your 4x4 comes out of for air. So make sure you move those two, be very gentle. This is all one piece. You can imagine what that costs brand new from Ford. I'm sure you used a couple $100, but be very gentle with it. So I got updates. Next you gotta remove this boot, or sorry, the line, the intercooler piping from the rubber boot, not the rubber boot from the truck itself. So separate there. Next, disconnect the EGR valve. How in the devil? Anyway, I'll figure that one out, but disconnect this. Oh, okay, I finally was able to get this sucker off. Took a set of pliers, honestly, squeezing this and pulling it off. She was a snug fit. For something that's a pain in the ass, which is an EGR, it made it hard to get off. So next, you gotta go down here where the two intercoolers meet, and there's a flange down there. You have to, what if I can get you guys in there? Right down there, disconnect that. This would be what, a 2-inch corrugated steel or aluminum it looks like, so disconnect that next. So I finished asking it nicely to get that last bolt out. There, on the opposite side of that flange, the one nut's off. The other one, you just, why, Ford? Why? So, what I'm going to do is bring out the old Sawzall and just cut that tubing off. It's not going to be needed because the EGR coolers will be deleted anyway. I already dismounted all of the 3 mounting brackets, mounting clamps, I guess. Built the cooler in place, disconnected these 2 and the hoses. So really you just cut that and this pops right out. So let me get some persuasion out with the Sawzall and let's see how it turns out. Well, look who won that battle. This guy. Oh, that was not fun to get out. Man, Ford, what did you do? So yeah, look at how gucky that is. Let me try to find my light here. Look at that. Gunk, EGR bullcrap. Ugh. So next, you want to remove, there's a plastic Y, I think it bolts down there. That nut down there you see, right there. No, the furthest down one. But the mounting bracket's in the way. So I'm going to remove that first, and then remove that, and then you have to remove this upper hose, which can be done actually with everything in. I've changed one before. You just got to have a pick on the tape to the end of a screwdriver and be able to pull that off. But well, the next step is removing this bracket. Got the front cooler and the front bracket out. Here is the bolt you'll be looking for. At 210 mils. This will be I think a 13 mil, like a stud. It's a stud, and then you have wires clamped to it. So the wire's kind of covering this from the top. You just got to put a sock in there and hope for the best. That one's up top. That's the easiest. There is another bracket that goes something like this. I think something like this. Maybe like this. Anyway, that one's easy to get to too. 13 mil for that bolt. 210, 13. I think that was a 10 and a 13. So now we're left with, you know, quite a size hole to work around. Still got to get the plastic line out that it tells me to do before I remove that cooler, which I don't know how. I think it's this one right there. So I'll do that because we got to save that. Then I do have those 2 thermostats came with the truck. So I wonder if I should, don't know if they go there or not, but change them out while I have this, but you know, probably not, and wish I did later. Same with the upper rad hoses. The new hoses come with 2 O-rings. Napa sells them for quarter the price Ford does. Ford's back ordered anyway back when I looked at them, you know, 4 years ago when I had a truck like this. Again, you can do it with it on the truck, especially with the cooler off now, it'd be easier. You just gotta finagle a pick down there to get the C-clamp off the hose. Yeah, so next step, what's it say? Oh yeah, I gotta get that plastic hose off still. It's down there. But after getting that off, you gotta remove the steering shaft bolt and slide the shaft up and out of the way to get to the side cooler mounts down there. So fun, yay me. Hey, we're back at her. It's 2 days later where I left off. I had an issue getting this bottom cooler out. As you can tell, I'm out of breath. I've been reefing on it. But to get it out, you had to get the steering shaft bolt loosened. They said to take it right out, but I couldn't get it past that. But it had enough movement that I could move it over, twist the cooler. So the cooler's in like this. So you pretty much got to get in there, twist it right around almost, and then it kind of slid up out like this. It's the only way I could do it. It's been 15 minutes, 20 minutes on it trying to get it out. It's a tight spot. So next step is I'm going to put that bolt back in on the steering shaft, so I don't forget that. Very important. Then after that, we have to remove the bolt securing the coolant line to the timing cover. This line is attached to the lower EGR cooler mount and removes this one piece right there. So that's the next step. And then looks like you have to install the mounting bolts that you took out from the cooler holder with some supplied hardware, and then the block off plate, And then, yeah, we'll check back in after that's done. This is not a fun job. It's tight. As you can see, it's tight. And, but joys of Super Duty having a bumper you can stand on. It's like they knew you'd work on it. So it wants you to remove that bottom cooler mount, which is right, I guess that's a really good view, right there with the C-clamps hanging off of it. Honestly, the top two bolts that are on the flat side on the inside are easy, but the bottom two are they're just not fun. So I'm gonna leave it in there and just cut that bottom tube off. That black one there you see right here. Just gonna cut that off because you have to put a plug in right there. Just cut it off, leave it in the truck. So onto the block off plate for where the EGR, I guess, tube came out of on the exhaust. Use some Scotch-Brite. I got some here. Clean it all up. Now I'm gonna mount that flange on. Then I'm gonna cut this black coolant pipe, put those two plug pipe I cut out, and then we'll be on to the next step. If you followed on for this long, well, hope you're enjoying it. So after getting this line off that comes from top vertical cooler, comes down here, it's 1 bolt 8 mil, but here's the plug that's applied. A lot of people end up changing these O-rings because with the cheaper kits, you probably get cheaper O-rings. But honestly, I'm gonna send it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab some oil, any oil, preferably clean, rub oil on the O-ring so when you seat it, it slides in without ripping. So all I got is some 5W30 here from an old project. Rub it on there, rub it all over. And then, okay, we're gonna try to get it in there. Yay, without dropping it now that it's all oily. That's gonna be the fun part. And as you see, there isn't much room to work on the front of these trucks. It's a snug fit. I'm struggling to get it in there. Gotta find a way to hammer it in or something. Maybe twist it and push. Okay, well, I'm gonna struggle with getting this bag in. And I'm sure you guys don't want to watch that because, you know, my pain is so fun. I struggle. Okay, we'll be back. So what I'm gonna end up doing is, actually, I got the plug about half in. Here's a trick. Use some tape. Tape the bolt that you want to use to the head of your socket, or yeah, socket, and then use this to thread it in. It is a tight spot down here, so you're never going to get your fingers in there. And the screw just dropped. Well, tape wasn't good enough. So make sure you have a testy magnet. Try that again. You know, mechanicking is so fun. But hey, if it saves you 150 bucks an hour to whatever the price is nowadays for a mechanic, I'm up for it. All about saving money. Oh no, I've dropped the socket and the bolt. Man, this magnet has saved my life more than once. It's even strong enough to pick up extensions. We'll get some new tape on this maybe. There we go, new tape. And guess what? It's red because that's what I have. Once you get this started, twist it in. No, yeah, it's going in now. Good. So when you go to squeeze it in, just, you have to like, because it only has 1 bolt in this one. So you'll have to just squeeze it in, try to push the other side with your fingers, you know, 1 turn here, push there, 1 turn here, push there, until you get it in. Problem is it's such a freaking cramped spot. But I guess a guy could remove the fan and the top fan shroud, but guess what? That's a lot of work. Also, a big time saver for this project was ratcheting wrenches. So make sure you get yourself a set. They're pretty cheap nowadays. Oh, this fan guard getting in my way. Look, there's just no room. Because you pretty much need one hand pushing. I don't have enough room to turn. My setup is too long. Try my 1/4-inch ratchet, but the problem with it is the little socket, I guess you want to call it. Ball that keeps the sock or the end on, or whatever extension on, just doesn't quite push on it. And it will drop whatever's on the end of it if I'm not careful. And you lose it into the abyss of losing your 10 mil. You'll become that meme. But this is an 8 mil, so. As you guys can see, I can't get that lower hose out. I've tried to beat it with like a flathead in between the flange and the block. And I got some vice grips on it, but I can't seem to get it to even twist, like very slightly, but I can't get it out. So I'm gonna try using heat. Pretty much when in doubt, heat it out. Without getting that coolant hose hot. Not really doing that good of a job pointing at it though. Gotta get the heat transfer down into the O-ring. It's not melting that wiring harness. Little fire down there, never hurt nobody. Get a little more wiggle out of it. There we go. Yep, what I'm getting is heat always works. Every nut and bolt has been easy on this truck, even getting the exhaust bolts off, not hard. It's this small crap that just seems to fight you. Like I got a twist now. Let's try taking that off. There we go. Success. Look at that gunk on there. Ugh. Well, we'll make sure we sand that out a little better. Let it cool off to put the new plug in, with the new O-ring. But look at that. It's on there for a hot minute. That's still fine, right? Still reuse it. Yeah, probably not. I got the Scotch right here that I used to clean out my EGR block off plate on the exhaust. So, nice part is, hey, there's a little bit of lube in there. Coolant. Yeah, it looks good. You see remnants of the old O-ring on there. I mean, could be because I use heat. I don't know. We'll go with it was there already. Because I don't make mistakes. Right. No, I definitely do. Okay. Let's see how it is with the new one in. Again, you're going to want to lube oil up on the O-ring. Nice part is you probably hit that with a little hammer. Don't make fun of my using a claw hammer, because you know, that's all I have. Oh no. One good hit should get it in there, right? Well, there we go. Yeah, you just got to own up to it, you know? Put down the purse. Let's see if I was good enough to line up that bolt hole now. The old tape on her method. I can't see shit though. Let's try lining up that hole better. There we go, try that. Ford could have done a better job putting spots to put tools and stuff when you're working on stuff. I miss the old cars where you had huge fender wells to put stuff on. Hold your breath. She might be nature's Loctite though. A little bit of cross thread never hurt nothing, right? Battery died, so we're back. I have the life-saving ratchet wrench. I wonder what swollen members are doing these days. Are they still a thing? I think Mad Child's on his own, but what about the other guys? Like Mocha. Man, that was growing up as a teenager through those times, having bands like that. That was when music was good. Now we got this mumble rap, and I guess I just sound old by complaining about it, but nothing beats the old 2000 stuff. I tell you what. Also, what? Can we bring that back? Like, what am I saying what way? That's one thing I don't have as much for power tools. I gotta plug in 1/2 inch impact. You know what? That's about it. But to be honest, it's all a guy really needs. Hand tools will get you by. You know, swearing a few times just builds character. Okay, that's back together and out of the way of the fan. Cleaned up. Next, reinstall the plastic coolant tube. Be careful not to crack or break it. Right. Yeah, because you know that works well for me. Why would you make something out of plastic anyway? Like, how much money are you saving? Again, the O-ring, lube it up, make sure all the grit's off of it. Get oil all over your gloves so it's slippery again. Because we like the battle, okay? We like struggling. Okay. I do not remember how this went. So we're just gonna go by feel. Can you guys still see? Did I bump you? Okay, we're good. Yeah, that definitely doesn't go there. There we go. I've got to get a little over. Oh no. Oh no. The table. There it is. I guess being an used O-ring makes it easier too. So hopefully she seals good still. Now, gotta find a bolt for that one. There we go. There's a 2-knuckle cracker. Everything else is mounted up top. But reinstall the battery box, coolant lines, the degas bottle, the vent to the battery box. Disconnect the wires, and after that, we'll be doing this upper Palladium intake tube. Got the bottle in, got the vacuum line hooked up on the bottom. Got the bottom rad hose. There's 2 hoses on that Y I had to hook up. One was back there, that little hose there. So easy to do that before you put the bottle in. And then the hose down here for the degas bottle. And those C-clips. Make sure these are in there nice and tight. I recommend putting them on the hose before pushing the hose on. It just makes things so much easier. See them down there. And you just push on until it clicks. Snug fit. I mean, you'll know right away when it's loose and you go to fill it, right? So, okay. We still have this hose, but I think, there's instructions for that one. But it's telling me next to, that might even come off. Telling me next to take this connector off and remove the 4 bolt and take this whole coupler off. So here's the tube that comes with the kit. A lot of people complain about the inside not being like super flush to that lip there. They feel like it's gonna catch oil and stuff, but like honestly, the flow is going down. It's going down the tube and out this end. So if anything, I mean, I guess a little bit, but most of the time it's just going right into the intake. The O-ring seats good because they're good. It's not too loose. Again. I wouldn't even throw oil on this one because it goes right into a groove on the flat spot there, as you can see. A little bit of a groove, little bit, but yeah, so I'm gonna slap this bad boy on. It's gonna come with new hardware because the old bolts will be too long now. Right here. Got her completed. Got the elbow on, bolted that down. That was fun per se. It had to be twisted like this way to really get it lined up, but just loosen both clamps, wiggle it away in there, get the 4 bolts started and tighten them up. Other than that, like the bolts up good, fits good, looks better. How much more room we got with those coolers gone. Being an idiot that I am, I ended up breaking my dipstick trying to move the tube around, so I had to order one of those. I had to like take the bottom off, take it off from the bottom of the pan to pull this dipstick out, because, you know, couldn't have been easy, so mess around with that. But anyway, got a new one to order. So this line, you're supposed to use some of your old line that came across and to extend it, but honestly, like, it fits pretty good. I mean, could it be an inch longer? Sure, but like, why would you add in another splice point to have a possible another leak with a brass fitting? It fits pretty good like that. And this should have no rubbing. So I think we're buttoned up. All we gotta do is fill it with coolant with the bucket that I have below and see if there's any leaks. Another job done. Honestly, this job seems easier than what it is. It's fun. It's a tight area. There's so much, like, there's just no room for, like, you know, mitts to get in there. But I mean, we made room, right? Got rid of a cooler, this big old god awful EGR valve dealy, cleaned up some piping, looks a lot better. Anyway, I'm gonna fill up with coolant and we'll see how many leaks I found, because, you know, there will be at least 3 of them. Bye.